Let's jump straight into today's explainer. If you are focused on the business side of agriculture and you're looking to understand how the right technology can just instantly transform your bottom line, well, you are in exactly the right place. Today, we're looking at a completely game-changing tool from John Deere, the See and Spray Time Select system. We're going to skip all the hyper-technical engineering jargon and look at this purely from a business perspective. How does it add value? How does it save money? And ultimately, how does it make your operation way more profitable?
Okay, let's dive into this with a massive question. What if you could cut your herbicide costs by more than 3/4? For anybody running a farm, input costs, especially chemicals like herbicides, they're a continuous, heavy financial drain, right? It's literally one of the biggest line items on the budget. So when a solution comes along that can eliminate the vast majority of that cost without sacrificing weed control, that is not just a little equipment upgrade. That is a fundamental shift in how your business operates.
Section 1, the core business problem, the high cost of spraying fallow fields. Now, a fallow field is just agricultural land left unplanted for a bit to restore its fertility. But, as we all know, weeds don't care that the field is resting. They still grow, and they steal valuable moisture and nutrients from the soil, so you have to manage them. For decades, the go-to move has been broadcast spraying. You drive over the field and continuously spray chemical everywhere. But here's the thing. In a fallow field, weeds are mostly sparse and patchy. So with broadcast spraying, you are quite literally dumping incredibly expensive chemicals onto bare, empty dirt. It's kind of like using a massive fire hose just to water a single houseplant on your porch. Sure, it gets the job done, but it's an incredible mess and it wastes a fortune. Targeted spraying flips that completely. It applies the chemicals strictly and exclusively to the weed itself. That brings us to Section 2, the smart solution. Introducing See and Spray Select. At the end of the day, a piece of equipment is only as good as the return on investment it delivers, right? Well, this system was designed from the ground up to stop the financial bleeding of broadcast spraying and replace it with extreme precision. And the true genius of See and Spray Select is how unbelievably easy it is for the person actually sitting in the cap. You absolutely do not need a degree in computer science to run this thing. It's a simple 3-step automated workflow. Step 1, the machine continuously scans the fallow field as it moves. Step 2, it instantly identifies and targets only the growing weeds. Step 3, it precisely sprays a non-residual herbicide exactly on that target. Scan, target, spray. Boom, it happens in milliseconds, completely automatically. It takes a highly complex process and turns it into a totally seamless operational advantage. So how do these features actually translate to your daily operations? The machine uses these small boom-mounted cameras that constantly scan the ground. And when they spot a weed, the system doesn't just fire up the whole sprayer. No, it activates only the specific nozzles needed for that exact spot. Plus, it uses John Deere's Exact Apply technology, which actively helps reduce potential chemical drift. For a business owner, this is absolutely huge. It keeps your expensive chemicals exactly where they belong, on the weed, and limits any negative impact on the surrounding environment or your adjacent crops. It's efficiency and risk management all rolled into one.
Section 3, the ROI, unlocking massive herbicide savings.
All right, we've talked about the problem and how the machine works mechanically. Let's get to the really good stuff, the business impact. Because reducing input costs without hurting your field health is the absolute golden ticket. 77%. This right here is the absolute crucial takeaway of this entire explainer. According to John Deere's data, operations using See and Spray Select on fallow fields saw an average herbicide savings of 77%. Just pause and really think about the financial magnitude of that. If you traditionally spent, say, $100,000 a year spraying bare dirt to hit a few weeds, you are now keeping $77,000 of that capital inside your business. That's not just a marginal improvement, that is a totally transformative cost reduction. But the crucial point is what you actually do with that massive cost reduction. The value doesn't stop at just having more cash in the bank. Because you're saving so much volume on your standard herbicides, you now have the financial flexibility to reinvest those savings into specialized, high-value tank mixes. You can actually afford better, premium chemical combinations to tackle those really difficult or resistant weeds, stuff that frankly would have been way too expensive to broadcast over an entire field before. It elevates the whole quality of your weed management program, and that directly boosts your long-term profitability.
Section 4. Data-driven operations, turning data into better decisions.
The added value here goes way beyond just the hardware out in the dirt. This machine is actually a remarkably powerful business intelligence tool. Right inside the cab, the display gives you instant feedback. As you're working, it automatically maps exactly where herbicide was applied, and honestly, more importantly, where it wasn't. Think of it as a real-time visual receipt of your savings. You are actively documenting your exact savings footprint right there. Complete transparency, so you know for a fact the system is protecting your bottom line. And that data doesn't just sit trapped in the tractor cab. It streams continuously directly to the John Deere Operations Center. This is where the magic really happens if you're managing the farm. You can sit in your office and track these application maps and coverage footprints across all your acreage. You can dive deep into analyzing your input savings and machine performance. It completely takes the guesswork out of planning. By knowing exactly where the heavy weed pressures were this season, you can make highly informed, data-backed decisions for your prescriptions next season. Section 5. Operational flexibility. Complete support on your schedule. Look, we all know farming is absolutely not a 9-to-5 job, right? Mother Nature sets the schedule, and those windows of ideal weather can be incredibly tight. Well, because the cameras have integrated lighting right above them, this system can perform precision-targeted spraying day or night. If the wind finally dies down at midnight, you can be out there saving money. And hey, if you hit a section of the field where the weed pressure is just overwhelmingly dense, you don't even have to stop. You just push a button on the in-cab display and switch instantly from targeted spraying right back to traditional broadcast. You can even add variable rate capabilities with an annual license. And because the whole thing is factory installed, it works seamlessly. It is totally designed around respecting the operator's valuable time. Finally, for the business owner, peace of mind is everything. Adopting new precision technology can sometimes feel a bit risky, but See & Spray Select is fully supported and backed by your local John Deere dealer network. You aren't buying some third-party aftermarket bolt-on kit that's going to leave you stranded out in the field if something goes sideways. You're investing in a fully integrated system with the world-class parts and service support of a local dealer who is genuinely invested in your success. Which leaves us with this final, incredibly exciting question to think about. How will you reinvest your herbicide savings to grow your operation? When you're cutting your chemical costs on fallow fields by an average of 77%, you are fundamentally rewriting the financial equation of your farm. Whether that's upgrading your tank mixes, investing in new equipment, or finally expanding your acreage, this technology literally hands the capital back to you, the business owner. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep optimizing, keep growing, and I'll see you next time.